Hi everyone, and welcome to the new handcraft woodwork video. The channel's been a bit quiet over Christmas. I took a few weeks off, a little bit longer than expected. It's been a bit difficult editing this video as I'm realizing the limitations of my equipment. Some of the lighting is not very good. I'm just getting used to all this. This is very new to me, so please bear with me. And if you like what we make on the channel, then please keep coming back, subscribe, and I'll keep making the videos, and hopefully with time they'll get better and better. I'd like to upgrade the camera. The camera is quite poor quality, so when I have the money to invest, I will invest in a new camera. Also something for the sound, perhaps a microphone, and I would also like to invest in some proper lighting, which would enable me to light up the shots when it's dark in the winter in a way which doesn't make the whole shot look orange and yellow, which is a bit of a problem. So we're using this pallet wood here, and we're just using the table saw to rip down the lengths into regular pieces because I'm making a geometric pattern for the tabletop. So they all need to be the same size before we're able to go any further. I don't know what that weird noise the table saw is making. Sort of screeching sound. There we go, processed it all into those lengths. Now we're chopping it down into small sections, which took a long time. I think I was left with about 120 sections, the smaller ones. As you can see, with simple and repetitive tasks, it gets easier and easier and more fluid as you become familiar with the work. And now I've set the saw to 30 degrees and I'm chopping off the four corners of each of the 120 pieces. So I don't know if you can do that maths, but that's around 500 cuts on the chop saw. So it took me quite a while, as you can imagine. You can start to see the orange lighting coming in now as the day is dwindling in the winter time, with the very short days. And I put the lighting on, and the bulbs that I use in the workshop give this sort of orange light. And there's still a bit of daylight in there, so you can see it's just starting to turn a little bit orange. Now it's going a bit more orange as the daylight dwindles even more. And that stack is going down slowly. I've started to sit on a stool now, which really helped my back. There we go, we're getting through it now. It's a real opportunity to meditate, actually, just to take a break from thinking and to just be present with what you're doing and to try and be grateful for what's in front of you when doing something like that. It took me a few hours to cut all those little corners off. And there we go, we've got a pile of diamond-shaped pieces. Now, I'm going to cover this bit of plywood in glue, and we're going to get all those diamond pieces down in a nice, beautiful pattern. The diamond pieces are the two top angles of the diamond, the smaller angles, are 60 degrees, and the two middle angles opposite each other are 120 degrees, and they all interlock to make a nice pattern, which you'll see very soon. Here we go. You can start to see what it's going to look like. It gives almost like a 3D cube effect, like lots of 3D cubes all together. And that is why I'm trying to select the colours of the pieces in a way which lends itself to that optical illusion, to make the geometric pattern more pleasing on the eye. So I'm trying to make sure that the grains are all nice. And then the next day, and the glue is dry. So we're just going to snip off the edges of the table with a circular saw and make it nice and square. Just clamped a piece of wood down to use as a guide there. It's very helpful. I'm just going to give it a rough sand at this point. I'll sand it to a fine grit later. Pleased with how the tabletop turned out. It looks nice considering it was battered and dirty old pallet wood that would have otherwise rotten and gone to waste. So I'm going to start on the legs now, and this is just a piece of old roof beam that I had lying around that I'd already cut up and made regular with the plane. So I'm cutting it down to length here. Now I'm going to cut pieces of the right thickness to make the legs and the frame. You can see all of the equipment in my workshop is quite old. I don't mind, it's better than nothing. I'm very grateful for what I've got. So those are all the pieces for the legs and the frame. I'm just organising them into groups now. So I'm marking up to cut a little join for these bits. Just going to be a simple half lap joint. And I'll cut it out using the bandsaw. My bandsaw has been very temperamental lately. I'm either going to need to get a new one or fix it somehow. I don't quite know how, so I'll look it up on the internet and I'm sure we'll find an answer. So that's the frame now going together. Because I make these tables for my Etsy shop, Handcraft Woodwork, I have to make them so I can deconstruct them, to flat pack them and post them, so it's easy for the customer to actually put them back together again on their end. And I want to do that in such a way where there's no screws showing and it looks pleasing and it's also strong and sturdy. So we're making the frame for the tabletop now, the border. And you can see the lighting as well keeps changing colour. I think it's the white balance setting on my camera, but because of the quality of the camera, it's quite a basic model. I can't actually make it to a fixed setting, it's just automatic. So when I move in front of the camera, it changes the light that the camera is seeing, and then the colour that appears on the video is changing back and forth. So these are the things that I'll be looking to sort out in the upcoming videos. Clamping it all together, and the next day the glue is dry and we can come and remove the clamps. It's starting to take shape now and I'm pleased with how the border looks. Now time to attach the underside of the frame for the tabletop. Just trimming the edge with a rounded corner bit. I'm now going to trim the edge of the top side of the table on the border, the same rounded corner bit. It's quite nice to work with this pallet wood as it cuts easily and sands easily. Okay, now to put the legs together. So I'm going to leave the legs together in sections like this and use glue here because these will be able to go flat in the package. And this is a shelf. It's time to attach the legs here, and these are the screws that the customer will be putting back in after I deconstruct it to flat pack it for postage. So just a few screws to go in, and then the whole structure will be made really nice and firm and solid with the shelf that goes on those two rails underneath. And there we go. A few screws to secure the shelf in place. And now I've deconstructed the table and I'm oiling it piece by piece. With some boiled linseed oil. And there we have it. The final piece. The 3D cube optical illusion geometric pattern table made out of old pallet wood and old roof beams. If you like this video and you like what you've seen here made today, please tune in for the next video and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.